So friends, let's see this delicious brinjal and potato bhaji. Now I've taken these long and dark purple brinjals. Just wash them really well and pat them dry. And now I'm just going to cut off the tips and discard that. Next I'm going to cut the brinjal lengthwise into 2 equal halves. And also keep a bowl of water ready. And then I'm going to cut each of these again into half lengthwise. And then I'm going to chop them up into small cubes like this. So we're going to keep the brinjal with the peel. You don't need to peel the brinjal for this recipe. Just cut them into even sized cubes. And then you're going to add all of this to the water. Now we're putting this into the water because we don't want to discolor the brinjals. Because you keep them out like that, they'll turn a little dark in color. Now here I've heated 2 tablespoons of oil and I've drained out all the water from the brinjals. Once the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add the brinjal to the oil. And we're going to fry them really well for at least a whole minute till the brinjals soften a bit and darken a bit. Once that's done, we're going to take them out and put them into a bowl. To the remaining oil, I've taken 1 large potato that I've boiled, peeled and cubed, again into small cubes. I'm going to add that and we're going to fry this potato for 1 whole minute as well. Once that is done, we're going to take the potatoes out and add them to the brinjals. And we can just set this aside. Now to the remaining oil, I'm going to add 1 light green chili, 2 cloves of garlic and 1/2 inch of ginger that I've chopped fine. We're going to fry this really well. Now if the oil is a little less, just add a little bit of oil. Now I've added 1 bay leaf. Fry the bay leaf well too. And then I'm going to add about 5 to 6 curry leaves. Saute them too. And then I'm going to add 1 medium onion that I've chopped fine. So fry all of these ingredients really well. We're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of haldi powder or turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder and 1/2 teaspoon of garam masala. Fry all of this bagar really well. Now I'm going to add the fried potatoes and brinjals to this fodni or this bagar, and we're going to give everything a very good mix. Next I'm going to add 1/2 cup of water and mix everything well again. Now we're going to add some salt to taste. And I'm also going to add a teaspoon of grated jaggery. You can also add sugar instead of jaggery, or jaggery. And you can also, increase the amount if you want it a little on the sweeter side. We're going to saute everything for 1 whole minute so that everything comes together really well. The bay leaf too adds a real nice flavor to this dish, as well as all the lovely spices that we've added. Now I'll leave a link of how I make my garam masala at home in the description box below. And now we're going to cover and cook this for a whole 5 minutes on low flame, stirring in intervals. And now after 5 minutes, you can see that everything has come together really well, and the potatoes and the brinjal have also cooked really nicely. So this is like a semi-dry dish. It's not a complete gravy as well as it's not completely dry, but it's just the perfect consistency. Now I'm going to add 1/4 cup of fresh coriander leaves chopped fine. Again, give everything a good mix. And at this point, you can turn off the heat. And our lovely dish is all ready. You can also add a dash of lemon juice while serving if you like it a little on the tangy side. So you can enjoy this with some puris or chapatis or some rice and dal. It's really, really delicious. So I hope you give this recipe a try. And if you like it, then don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section below. Write to me about it. And I'll see you soon in my next video. This is Akshata signing off. Bye. So now here I've taken one medium-sized brinjal, washed it really well, wiped it dry, and I've cut off the tip of it, and I'm going to cut it lengthwise into half and then again into smaller pieces like this, and then we're going to cube it into medium-sized pieces. We don't want very small pieces, but medium-sized pieces like this. Now I've taken a colander and I've placed a plate below it, and I'm just going to put all the cubes into that colander. Now this is my Nana's recipe, and she used to make it, always in the summertime or just before the monsoons. And you could call this an instant pickle because you could have it the same day. Of course, it matures with age and it tastes even better as you keep it longer. And it has a long shelf life also. So now that I've cut up all of the cubes, I'm just going to sprinkle about 2 tablespoons of salt. Now keep a plate below the colander. And you'll see that we're going to keep it aside for 8 hours, and you'll see that water collects. Keep discarding the water that collects down this on the plate. And after 8 hours, we're just going to squeeze out all the water. So just squeeze out all the water as much as you can. You can also tie it up into a muslin cloth and then, squeeze it out, because let me caution you, this brinjal, I mean, depends, you do get a little bit of itchiness in your hands. So what I did is I just applied a little bit of oil on my hands before I started to squeeze out the water, because I do get a little bit of itchiness. So to avoid that, put a little bit of oil on the palm of your hands. So now we're going to go to the masala paste ingredients that we need for this lovely pickle. So here I have an inch of ginger, 8 cloves of garlic, about a tablespoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of turmeric, about 7 dried red chilies, and half a cup of vinegar. Now I like grinding this masala on my masala stone, because then you don't use any kind of water and it's completely only with vinegar. But you can grind this in your mixer grinder too. But I like to grind it on the masala stone. It just it just reminds me of my childhood, because I used to do this whenever my grandmom used to make the pickle. She used to always ask me to grind the masala, and I love doing this. So you can grind it on your mixer grinder too, but we're not going to use even a drop of water for this pickle. So ensure that your mixer grinder is nice and dry, and you only add vinegar. That way the shelf life of your pickle will also last long. So now we have our masala paste nice and ready and fine. It should be really, really fine. All the chili should be ground well. So just take it out in a bowl or a plate. So now here we have our brinjal with, we've taken out all the water. This is our masala paste. Now besides that, we require just a few ingredients. So here I've taken about 5 large cloves of garlic and I've chopped them really fine. These are about 7 to 8 or maybe more, few curry leaves. This is about half a cup of jaggery, but you can, adjust it as per your taste. And this is about half a tablespoon of Kashmiri chili powder and some salt to taste. Now here I've taken about 1.5 cup of oil in a pan. You do require a little more than, you require oil for this recipe. So now we're going to add the brinjal. See that your oil is nice and hot, and we're going to cook on a low to medium flame. Now we're going to add our brinjal, and we're going to fry the brinjal for at least a whole 2 minutes till the brinjal is nice and fried. So you'll get this kind of a brownish tinge to the brinjal. But this is also very important if you want a nice long shelf life for the pickle. Now once it's done, drain out all the excess oil and put them on a kitchen napkin so that it absorbs all the excess oil. Now to the same oil, I'm going to add the chopped up garlic. Fry the garlic also for a minute till it turns into a little light brown color. Next, we're going to add the curry leaves. Now try to use fresh curry leaves for that lovely extra beautiful flavor for the pickle. Now I'm going to add this ground masala paste. And now mix it really nicely into the oil, and then and you'll come to know that it's nicely fried because you'll get the aroma of the beautiful spices that we've added, and the vinegar especially. You'll get the lovely smell of, or the aroma rather, of the vinegar. Now I'm going to add this Kashmiri chili powder. This is just added for color, so that you get that nice rich color for the to the pickle. And now I'm going to add the brinjal that we fried. Mix everything in really nicely. And now we're going to add the jaggery. Now you can add it as per your taste. I'm going with half a cup, but then after mixing up everything and cooking it for about half a minute, you can just do a taste test to see whether you need to add salt, whether you need to add jaggery, whether you need to add a little more of maybe chili powder if you want it a little spicy. So do a taste test. Now I am adding a little bit of salt to taste. And now we're just going to mix everything really well. And I'm just going to cook this mixture on a low to medium flame for about 2 minutes at least. And then we're going to turn off the heat completely, and we're going to let the mixture cool completely. Only once the mixture is completely cool, transfer it to a nice, dry and clean glass bottle. And our brinjal pickle is ready. You can have it on the same day. It does taste delicious, but the longer you keep it, it matures and tastes even better. So I hope you like this recipe, and I hope you do give it a try. Do let me know in the comments section below. So friends, let's see this delicious fried brinjal recipe, or also it is called kapa. This is an amazing Goan snack recipe or side dish recipe. Now you have to use a brinjal which looks like this, the big brinjals. Wash them well, wipe it dry, cut off the top, and you're going to slice it as thin as possible. The thinner, the more crispier. Or if you like it on the thicker side, you can add it, make it thicker also. But I like to keep it at this half an inch thickness. Now we're just going to put them on a plate because it's easier to add all the ingredients to it. So spread it out on a plate. First you're going to add some salt to taste. Next we're going to add some chili powder, about 1 to 2 teaspoons depending on how spicy you would like it. I go for generally around 1.5 teaspoon. Then we're going to add a little bit of haldi powder or turmeric powder, just about a teaspoon. And now you're just going to spread it on both sides. So this salt, chili powder and haldi powder, just spread it properly on all the sides so that it evenly gets distributed on all sides of the brinjal pieces. Now as you cut the brinjal pieces, it releases some moisture. So it just, all this masalas just automatically stick onto the kapas or the slices. You can do the same thing with potato also. So by spreading it out on a plate, you can easily mix everything nicely. Now I remember my mom making this, in a hurry when she had to go to office for her tiffin box. This was a real easy item, and I used to also love it. And then you're just going to take a little bit of fine rava or semolina or suji, about 2 tablespoons. And you're going to add a little bit of rice flour, about a tablespoon or so. Just like you would do with a fish fry, mixing rice flour and rava or semolina. Just mix it in really nicely together, the two. And then you're just going to coat all of these pieces of brinjal with this. What will happen is this makes it nice and crispy and crunchy and just elevates the taste of this lovely kapa. And for those of you who love brinjal like I do, it always has its own unique taste. So this is an ideal way to get your family to eat brinjal. when we should include as many vegetables as we can in our diet, along with protein, etc. But you have to have vegetables in your diet. So these are very easy ways of including them in your diet. And of course, we're going to shallow fry them. You can deep fry them, but then the brinjal will, soak a lot of oil. So I suggest that you just put a little bit of oil in your pan, about a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, and just fry the brinjal till they're nice and golden brown and crispy on both sides. I hope you give this recipe a try, guys. It's really, really delicious. How we're going to roast the brinjal. I'm using one large brinjal like this. I've just brushed it with some oil and I've just kept it on a rack directly onto the flame on a little medium to high flame, and we are going to continuously turn it every 5 minutes and see that it's roasted evenly on all sides. Now the entire procedure took me around 20 minutes, but keep an eye on it. And then once it is completely roasted, just put off the gas and let the brinjal completely cool. And then just with your fingers, you can just peel it off like this. It comes off very easily. And we are going to use the pulp, which we are going to just smash down with a fork. And it's very, very easy to mash down. So let's start with our first recipe of vangyatsa bharit, which is the spicy one, also called bharta. Now I'm going to list down all the ingredients along with the exact measurements in the description box as well as the comments section. But we require some very finely chopped onions, about 2 large onions, some coriander, freshly chopped coriander, some fresh curry leaves. This is about 2 tablespoons of peanut powder or shengdanyaचं कूट. Then we have our spices like half a teaspoon of mustard seeds or mohri or rye, half a teaspoon of asafoetida or hing, half a teaspoon of haldi powder or turmeric, half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, 1/4 teaspoon of garam masala, and about 1.5 teaspoon of red chili powder. Now here I'm heating about 1.5 tablespoon of oil in a pan. Now I have used about 3/4 of the quantity for this recipe of the roasted brinjal, and I'm going to use 1/4 for the bharit, the other bharit that I'm going to show you, which has curd in it. Now once my oil is nice and heated, I'm going to add my mohri or my mustard seeds, followed by my cumin seeds or jeera. Next I'm going to add the fresh curry leaves. Next goes in some hinga or asafoetida. Then goes in my haldi powder or turmeric powder. I'm going to give everything a nice mix with all the spices. Now I'm going to add my 2 finely chopped onions. You have to cut them really, really fine for this recipe. The onions add a real nice flavor to this bharit or bharta. Now I got many requests on my channel to show some brinjal recipes. I have another 2 recipes which I'm also going to link below. So now I'm going to add about 1.5 teaspoon of red chili powder. You can adjust this as per your taste. Give it a mix. So like I was saying, I have 2 more recipes of brinjals. One is bharla vanga, which is an amazing recipe. So I'm going to leave that in the link in the description box as well as the comment section down below. And then I have a very simple brinjal fry, which is the Goan style, which is also very delicious. So I'm going to link that below too. So now I'm going to add my roasted and mashed up brinjal. And we're going to mix everything well together. This is such an amazing dish and it goes so well with some roti or chapati or puris. Now I'm just going to season it with some salt to taste. So roughly I've added about half a teaspoon of salt, but you can add as per your taste. Again, give everything a good mix. Now I'm just going to add my garam masala. This is homemade garam masala. I will leave a link below in the description box as to how I make my garam masala at home. So check out my description box. It is just below the video. You will see something saying show more. Just click that. It will open up and you will see all the links to the recipe. You will see all the exact measurements. Now I'm adding my peanut powder or my shengdana chakut. Now this is very simple to prepare. You just take some raw peanuts, just roast them in a pan, then let them completely cool down. Then just peel off the peanut skin or peel, and then just put them in your mixer and grind it. It gives a lovely flavor to this dish, so if possible, don't skip the peanut powder. So now we're just going to cover and cook this for about 5 minutes on a low to medium flame. Give it a mix again. The aroma of this dish is just fantastic with all the lovely spices. And that's it, friends. Our dish is all ready to serve. So just transfer this to a serving bowl. And then all we're left to do is just garnish it with some lovely chopped up fresh coriander. Now, one tip I'd like to give you here is when you're using coriander, just soak the coriander in some water to which a little pinch of salt is added, and then rinse out the coriander before chopping it up. So there it is, friends. Now I'm just going to garnish it with my coriander, and always use the tender stalks of the coriander. They have a lovely flavor too. So here is our lovely vangyatsa bharit, which is the spicy version. It's not over the top spicy, but it's really delicious and just the right amount of spice. This is one of my favorite dishes of brinjal. And now I'm going to show you the other version, which is the one which uses yogurt, which can be had as a salad too. It's very soothing and just right for the summer heat. So here I'm using 1/4 of the brinjal which I roasted and peeled and mashed. Then I have just about a 1/4 cup of onions, some green chilies, some cumin seeds, some asafoetida or hing, some green chilies and some coriander. Now I'm going to make a tadka or a fodni. So here I've taken a small fodni vessel in which I'm going to add just about half a tablespoon of oil. Now once my oil is nice and hot, I'm going to start by adding my cumin seeds. Next will go in the green chilies. So we're going to fry the green chilies. Next goes in my hing or asafoetida. We're just going to mix everything well. And now I'm just going to add this tadka or this fodni to my roasted and mashed up brinjal. Now give everything a good mix. Now I'm going to add just about 1/4 cup of onion. It gives a lovely crunch to this bharit. This can be had all by itself. You don't need to have any rotis or puris, just have it. Then I'm just going to season it or flavor it with a pinch of salt. Again, give everything a good mix. And now I'm going to add a little more onion. You can add as per your taste. And now I'm going to add some curd, about half a cup of curd. This is homemade dahi or homemade curd. It's very easy to prepare. Again, I'll leave a link of how to prepare homemade dahi or homemade curd in the description box or the comments box below. So be sure to go and check out all the links. And then give everything a lovely mix. This is a very light bharit. It's very, very soothing and it's perfect for the summer. You can serve it chilled. You can even dip some nacho chips into it and have it as a dip. It's just amazing. And now all we have to do is just garnish our bharit with a little bit of freshly chopped coriander. So there you have it, friends. Two types of bharits, one spicy and one refreshing and really cool. So I hope you give both these recipes a try. And do let me know in the comment section below how you liked these recipes. These are very traditional Maharashtrian recipes and I've learned both these recipes from my mother-in-law. And these are like really, really amazing and delicious, especially if you like brinjals.
Hi guys and welcome to Akshata's Recipes. Today I'll be showing you how to make some barli vangi or some stuffed brinjals. Now here we're going to use the smaller brinjals and we're going to cut them in a way that if this is the brinjal, you're going to cut it on top vertically, turn it around and horizontally so that we don't entirely cut the brinjal and it doesn't break up. I will show it to you in the recipe. And for the stuffing, we are going to be using some fresh coconut, some homemade goda masala, and some tamarind pulp with a few other Indian spices. This dish is really very simple to make and it's so delicious to eat. And it's best eaten with some hot bhakris or puris or some steamed rice. Again today my mother-in-law Mrs. Vandana Ramchandra Sahasrabuddhe will be showing you this recipe, and Ai has got a big plethora of recipes. So if you all want to see more recipes, then please stick around, subscribe to my channel by just clicking the red subscribe button that you see below this video. It's completely free, you won't be charged anything for subscribing. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big like, share my videos with family and friends. And once you have subscribed, please do click on the bell icon so that every time I upload a new video, you'll get a notification of the same. So without much further ado, let's just head on to my kitchen and prepare this amazing dish of bharli vangi. Well friends, for our stuffing of our brinjals, we have taken 1 cup of fresh coconut, some tamarind pulp, goda masala, haldi powder, red chili powder, salt and some gur or jaggery. Now for the tamarind pulp, I have taken about a small lime-sized ball of tamarind and soaked it in half a cup of water for 15 minutes and then squeezed out all the pulp. Now we're going to cut the small brinjals on one side vertically and on the other side diagonally so that the brinjal doesn't break. Now when you're putting the stuffing, be extremely careful and gentle as to not to break the brinjal. So I'm using about 6 to 7 small brinjals. Now we are going to make this in a pressure pan, but you can also make it in a normal cooking vessel. It will just take about a little longer, about 10 minutes longer, till the brinjals are completely cooked. Of course, it always works out better in a pressure pan. Now we're not going to use all of the stuffing. You're going to keep about, say, 1 cup or half a cup of the stuffing, because that adds to the gravy and thickens the gravy up too. Now this goda masala is homemade. I will leave a link in my description box of how to make goda masala at home. It is extremely simple. So here, while I'm just finishing stuffing the brinjals, we're heating some oil in a pan. Now I'm using a little more oil than normal, so I'm using 2 tablespoons of oil instead of 1 tablespoon, because we have to fry the brinjals a little so they become nice and crispy too. That also enhances the flavor of the dish. Now once our oil is hot, we're going to use our normal fodni ingredients. So we're going to go in with half a teaspoon of mustard seeds or mohri or rye, followed by 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera. Then we're going to add half a teaspoon of asafoetida or hing and half a teaspoon of haldi powder. Now once our mustard seeds begin to splutter, now I is adding a little more hing, so you can go for about 3/4 teaspoon of hing for this recipe. Now we're just going to put in the brinjals. Now if you don't like brinjals, you can also use baby potatoes. I'll put a recipe up. It has the same procedure and the same ingredients, but you can use baby potatoes if you're not a big brinjal fan. So now we're going to saute our vanga or brinjals a bit in the lovely flavored oil. See that you are generous with the stuffing inside the brinjal. Now we're just covering it. We're not completely closing up our pressure pan. We're just covering it, and we'll be repeating this procedure of covering for about half a minute, again opening it, again stirring a bit, again closing it for 2 times, just to cook the brinjals a bit, and that also enhances the flavor of the dish.
Now, one little kitchen tip I'd like to give you here is, to make your work easier. What I like to do is, as and when I'm cooking, I like to also clean up and clear up, you know, in between cooking time. Like if and my brinjal is taking some time to cook, I like to just put away all the spices that I've taken out, or all the coconut from the refrigerator, or the salt in its place. That really helps, and it makes work easier. I mean, instead of just, I've seen some people when they're cutting onions, they have peels all over, they have, all spices lying over. Their entire kitchen platform is full of, stuff. So as and when you have the time, when your, vegetable is cooking, just clear up. It keeps your kitchen looking nice, it makes you feel good, and it also lessens your work of clearing up so much of trash at one time. Like for example, if I'm chopping up onions, the peels, I always like to keep a paper bag and just put all of them together, so I can just, I don't have to go to the waste paper bin 10 times. I can just go once and for all and, just throw up all the trash there. So now you can see that the brinjals have become a darker color. Now we're going to add in all the rest of the stuffing with a little bit of water, because we don't want to waste any of the amazing stuffing. So just add a little bit of water and clear up all the stuffing. As the old saying goes, waste not, want not. That's what we learn from our elders. Make use of everything, don't waste anything. Now one more tip over here is use fresh coconut, guys. Don't use, frozen coconut, or it gives a different flavor when you use freshly grated coconut. Now look at the rich color of this dish. Doesn't it already look so appetizing? Now to cook this brinjal, we're going to add about 1 cup of water. Now it all depends upon how thick or how thin you would like to have your gravy. So you can add water if you want a thinner amount of gravy. So I'm adding about 1 tablespoon of dhania powder or coriander powder, and 1 teaspoon of cumin powder or jeera powder. Now we've already added salt in the stuffing. So if you feel like you want to add some salt, just give it a little bit of a taste. This barli vangi, like I said, goes extremely well with some bhakri or some steamed rice or even puri. You can always check and taste whether you need to add more chili powder, more gur for sweetening, more tamarind water. It has a very sweet, spicy and sour flavor. And it gets ready also very quickly. Now to prepare the brinjal initially, what I like to do is I cut off the peel, wash it, cut off the tips rather, not the peel, wash it a bit, cut it up, and then keep it in some salt water for about 5-10 minutes, and then give it a thorough wash before using it for this recipe. So now we're just waiting for the gravy to come to a little bit of a boil. And then we're just going to seal the pressure pan, close it up, and then cook it for 2 whistles on high, and then keep it for 5 to 10 minutes on a slow flame. And then once your cooker is, and then put this flame off, and then once your cooker has completely cooled down, or your brinjals are completely cooked, then you can open up your pressure pan or your cooker, and all you have is just amazing barli vangi. So there it is, friends, all ready. Just garnish with some amazing coriander, and you're all set for a lovely lunch or dinner. I hope you like this recipe. See you soon, guys. Bye.
Well, friends, don't forget to give this video a big like. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel by hitting the red subscribe button you see below this video. Do ring the bell icon so every time I upload a new video, you'll be the first one to know. Please share my recipes with family and friends. Do visit my channel for more than 215 videos. And thanks so much for watching. See you in another video. Take care.